What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. We're back here with another draft rebuild, as this was speculation that kind of happened over the weekend. The news had dropped that Derek Carr might be unavailable for the NFL regular season, or might be delayed and coming back, of course, for the start of it. And it led to the idea of the Saints potentially drafting a quarterback, obviously, with that news dropping. And then there were some tweets about the idea of Shedeur Sanders. I think Dion tweeted as well. So Deion Sanders or Shedeur Sanders to the Saints is definitely something that could materialize. So let's go ahead and jump in and do the Shedeur Sanders Saints rebuild in Madden 25. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. YouTube tells me 85% of the people that watch these videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you do fall in the 85%, want to change that as we're on the road to 10,000 subs, that would be greatly appreciated. Also, I'm recording this super early in the morning, so I do apologize if I sound absolutely goofy right now, but the grind must go on. So let's go ahead and take a look at the lineup right now to kind of see what the Saints did this offseason. So as I mentioned, also Derek Carr is a poverty 71 overall, and that's probably only going to continue to go down, obviously. So yeah, I'm actually more than okay with drafting quarterback here for this rebuild. So we have Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed. Olave's had a lot of concussion injuries, so definitely, hopefully he can be a lot healthier next year. Brandon Cooks has returned to New Orleans. I think that's where he started his career, if I'm not mistaken. He got traded so many times early on in his career, it wasn't even funny. Maybe he started with the Rams. I literally don't remember, but I do believe it was the Saints, if my memory serves me right. Juwan Johnson got an extension. Shaheed is on a one-year extension, I believe. And then got a decent enough O-line that at least we don't have to address it immediately, which is great. Maybe a guard would be helpful. Defensively, they obviously added Justin Reed. That was basically their biggest addition this offseason. LSU alumni. It comes back to New Orleans. You got Kool-Aid McKinstry. They signed Yidium, and then Umadi brought back Chase Young on an extension. So, yeah, and then they traded for Godchukes, or however you say his damn name. I probably totally botched that, but Devon. Just call him Devon. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this draft, because obviously we'll be adding Shedeur Sanders. More than likely, he won't fall to us at pick 9 if I had to guess in this draft. But basically, the idea behind this is obviously, if the Browns don't take a quarterback and if the Giants don't take a quarterback, there is a chance that Shedeur could fall to 9, potentially. The Raiders still could take him too. The Jets could maybe strike on him as well. So it's not guaranteed that Shedeur is going to fall to 9, right? But if he did, I feel like the Saints would more than likely jump on the opportunity to draft him. And like I said, more than likely he won't fall to us in this scenario. But let's see. So Cam Ward's obviously going to go 1. So that makes sense. And then I assume... Cam Ward's going to go 1. Obviously, the Giants don't really have a quarterback, so more than likely they're going to... Oh, no, Shedeur actually went to Cleveland, so that's already figured out. So we're just going to go draft somebody at 9 that's going to be sent to the Cleveland Browns. So let's go see what we got here. Or sent somewhere. This guy that we draft is going to be sent somewhere else. So I guess I'll just draft Will Johnson, who also could go in the top, 8 or whatever. So welcome to Will Johnson, or welcome Will Johnson New Orleans for a period of time. He won't be here long. He'll obviously be swapped for Shedeur. But let's go to round 2 and let's see what we can do here. So in round 2, if we take a look, I said we needed a guard, but also could add like a corner or something too. Ashton Jeanty on the board is definitely pretty interesting. I won't lie to you. We have Alvin Kamara, but I don't think Ashton Jeanty is obviously falling around too. But we do have the O-line problem we could address right now. Also could do something on the defense as well. Our defense, I guess the weakest position is probably cornerback. But I am going to go ahead and draft an offensive lineman here. So we're going to take Tyler Booker to fill that left guard spot that we have a problem at right now. So welcome to New Orleans, Tyler Booker. The only reason I'm doing that is because we have 2 round 3 picks, I believe. One of them from the Marshawn Lattimore trade that we can capitalize on here. So let's go ahead and see what we can get. I know Jeanty would have been a no-brainer too, don't get me wrong, but just don't think he's going to fall that far, obviously. So round 3. So we have Kevin Winston, Samson, Cornelius. It wouldn't be a bad idea to take a running back who could learn behind, obviously, Alvin Kamara, because Kamara is going to probably regress. So I would not be opposed to drafting a running back here as well. But I do want to take a corner, and Jason Marshall might be the best one we could take potentially. So let's see that just in case. There's Jamari Harris as well, or Tommy Hill, or Thomas, Max Hairston. Okay, let's look at Jamari Harris. I know his coverages didn't look great. Speed is only solid, so probably not going to jump on that one. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. What about Darian Porter? So Darian Porter C-man, C-zone, but speed is elite. So I'm going to take Darren Porter here in round 3 to be a corner for us, as depth probably won't be like a #1 corner by any means any day, but he'll at least be a solid 3rd corner if I had to guess. I think in pick 93, I might draft one of these running backs in this draft as long as one's still on the board for us, because could use one. So let's see. We got Ollie Gordon still here, which I don't hate the idea of, but let's take a look to see who else is here. We have Ollie Gordon. We have Mullings. We do have Cam Scattaboo as well, which is interesting. RJ Harvey. So there's some good ones. Do we want Cam Scattaboo or do we want Ollie Gordon's the question? So, or do we even want Mullings? Let's see. So Scattaboo's got solid speed. Well, I'm assuming Ollie Gordon's probably elite or decent or whatever it's going to say. It's solid. So I guess they're both in the same ballpark. I'm going to draft Ollie Gordon, though. So Ollie Gordon's going to be our pick here late in round 3. So welcome to New Orleans. Ollie Gordon going to be kind of the replacement to Alvin Kamara eventually. That will be our draft. Obviously, I have to go get Shedeur Sanders, but that is a decent start, in my opinion, to this rebuild. So here's the lineup for year number 1. Shedeur Sanders, of course, under center at quarterback. We got Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Brandon Cooks, Rashid Shaheed. You got Juwan Johnson, Ryan Ramczyk, Cesar Ruiz, McCoy, Booker, and then Fuaga. And then defensively, we have Matthew still here. We got Pete Werner, Demario Davis. We got Chase Young, Brian Bresee, Devon Granderson, and we also have Barron in the depth chart, which is nice too. Khalid McKinstry, Umade, and Alontae Taylor. So our corner room definitely is the thing that needs upgraded the most. We did draft a corner, but it doesn't look like he even made the depth chart, unfortunately. So that's unfortunate. But eventually he might be decent enough that he'll be in there. We're going to go ahead and simulate this season. So more than likely our defense will probably hold us back with how bad our cornerback room is. But maybe our offense is just good enough with Shedeur. We'll see. We're under Kellen Moore's offense this time around. So we shall see how it goes. Okay, so this is a little confusing. We went 7-10, but we're hosting a playoff game. Yeah, that's how bad our division was, I guess. Well, okay then. I guess the NFC South sucked that badly to where we by default are going to get a playoff home game because of that's crazy. But we get to play the Chicago Bears, so that's pretty wild. 7-10 is not great, obviously. It's not the worst in the world, but it's not great. It's very mid. So offensively, we're 20th in the NFL. And I assume defensively is where we were really bad. So yeah, our corner room obviously sucks. That's something that has to be addressed. But Shedeur 24-13. He had 797 yards from Kamara, 11 touchdowns, 440 rushing yards from Shedeur, and 6. He had Brandon Cooks at 11 touchdowns, 1,048 yards. Shaheed 900. Olave was 700 and 700 from Juwan Johnson. Defensively, sacks-wise, you had 6.5 from Carl Granderson, 4.5 from Brian Bresee, 2 from Chase Young, 2 from Devon, 1 from Demario Davis, and 1 from Foskey. Here was your interceptions: Pete Werner, Demario Davis, Matthew, and then Jordan Howden. Yeah, by default, we get a playoff game. So I guess let's go see if we can find a way to beat the Bears. Obviously, we're not a great team yet, but our division was so bad. Here we are. The Caleb Williams versus Shedeur Sanders. Let's see how this one's about to go as we go down 7-0. Our offense will put up a field goal, but they'll put up a touchdown. 14-6, and it's going to be 21-6 now. So let's see if we can get back in the game here on this possession. What about this one? And we will score a touchdown, 21-13, but the Bears will respond right back. We will score again, but that's going to be all she wrote. So 28-20 loss, unfortunately. I guess we put up a fight, which is nice, but clearly there's still more to address. Obviously, corner being the main part of this offseason. So let's go ahead, get into the offseason and continue to address the things we need to address. So going to the offseason, about $64 million in cap space, but it wouldn't surprise me we could free up more by releasing Derek Carr, I believe. Let's see if there's an out on his contract. Yes, or yeah, we can say 51 million. So that, to me, that's a no-brainer. So we will also release Derek Carr, get him out of here. Obviously, this team has moved on to having Shedeur Sanders as a starter, so there's no incentive on keeping Derek Carr. So that's even more cap room for us now, which is nice. 115 to be exact now. So we got Brian Bresee as a 5th-year option, which I'm going to go ahead and accept. We have Ryan Ramczyk, who is our right tackle. Trevor Penning, also right tackle. Alontae Taylor. Demario Davis, who's 37 years old, but I think as a veteran presence, he's still probably pretty good to keep around. Matthew would probably let walk at this point. So I think the only one I'm truly interested in is probably Demario Davis, absolutely. So let's give him a 1-year deal. Keep the veteran here. 1 year, $13 million. He's going to stick around. Superstar X Factor. Ramczyk or Trevor Penning? Well, probably not to keep Trevor Penning. He is 27 years old. Or to go Ryan Ramczyk. I'm gonna give Ryan Ramczyk a deal. 32 years old. I'm gonna give him a 2-year deal to see if he'll stick around. If he doesn't, no hard feelings, but let's offer him one anyway. He says no. We just go for Trevor Penning instead then, and maybe give him a cheaper contract if he'll sign one. Sure, at least we'll have a right tackle in the building. Just kidding. No, we won't. Okay, so both of them are gone, which is fine. You know what? We'll go after somebody better. Who cares about y'all? So let's go to stage 1 with $100 million to our name. As I mentioned previously, corner is going to be the main party this offseason. Our corner room was pretty bad last year. McKinstry's cool, but outside of that, not a lot going on. So Ollie Gordon, because Kamara's regressed down to a 74 overall. That's why we drafted a running back in the first place. Cooks has also regressed, so that's something to keep in mind. He's only brought in on a 2-year deal, so we'll see what we do with him. Right tackle is clearly the problem here, so we'll go for a right tackle this offseason through the draft or whatever it may be. And then defensively, we have Pete Werner, who's star dev now. We don't have a free safety anymore. So yeah, secondary continues to be an issue, so that'll be something we're looking for. So let's go ahead and jump right in. And then what is Barron listed as? He is a left end. Okay, keep that in mind. All right, let's go ahead and see what we can do in free agency. We're definitely being aggressive in free agency here as we've made quite a few offers. So we're going after Zach Tom, obviously, to replace that right tackle spot. 27 years old, really couldn't get any better than that. We're going for Deron Bland, although Seahawks are contesting us with that. And Deron Bland is not very interested in coming here, but obviously getting a 27-year-old 88 corner is exactly what we need. Romeo Doubs to replace Brandon Cooks. We got Isaiah McCollum, who's just another corner we could use. Malcolm Rodriguez to put next to Pete Werner and Demario Davis. And then Brian Cook just to start at free safety. Might still draft one. So let's see if we get lucky on any of these guys. Obviously, if we can go 5 for 6 or 6 for 6, that would be fantastic. But let's see where we go. So we will go 5 for 6. Okay, so we don't get Deron Bland, which sucks because that was kind of the one I wanted the most. But we don't get him. So we get Zach Tom, Dubs, McCollum, Rodriguez, and Brian Cook. So we get everything we wanted other than a corner. So that's a little disappointing, but what do you expect? So Deron Bland goes to Seattle instead. That gives ourselves a much better lineup going into next season. And there's still a potential that we could trade for a corner if we wanted to as well before we jump into the draft, if we don't want to rely on a corner in the draft. But our offensive line gets really good. Obviously, Dubs, Olave, and Rashid Shaheed's a pretty good wide receiver trio. It's not horrible. And then defensively, we got Malcolm Rodriguez next to Demario Davis and Pete Werner. So, and then Brian Cook, Don McCollum, and Quillen McKinstry. So all that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead, get to the draft, and I guess we'll kind of see if there's a good corner that falls to us or a free safety. Secondary is the main priority I'm trying to address this offseason, but let's go see what is available to us in the draft, shall we? So picking at 23, as we have Amari Campbell going off the board before us, but let's go ahead and see if any of those corner options we want to look at are available or whoever else might be available. So I do like the idea of Anthony Hill still being here too, but I definitely said I wanted to get a corner if possible. So let's go see what we got. We got Marcus Allen, we got Avian Terrell, Jermod McCoy. So let's look at Terrell. B, catching B man coverage, C zone, speed is good. Do we just take Anthony Hill and get ourselves a replacement for for Demario Davis next year? Don't hate the idea of that, as there is some good options here, but I do like the idea of drafting Anthony Hill, I'm not going to lie. So I think that's where we're going to go with this. We're going to draft Anthony Hill round 1 to get our Demario Davis replacement for next year. So Anthony Hill, welcome to the Saints. You are going to be a great addition, speed being great. So welcome to New Orleans. Ends up being a pretty damn good player immediately, which is why we like him. So welcome to the Saints. You will immediately take over for Demario Davis next year, assuming Demario Davis retires, which I assume he would at that point. The pick 51, this is where I'd like a corner, but I also wouldn't mind being aggressive and trading for a veteran if we need to, if we don't like any of the options. Parker being here is interesting too, still on the board, but Terrell was the guy I was kind of looking at round 1, and he's still here. So we could probably jump on this opportunity. Speed is good. Let's take a look at what else we have. Do we have, so Pons, what does he have? F press, C man, C zone. Speed is great. So I think I'm going to go after Terrell here. So Terrell is going to be our pick, round 2. Welcome to the Saints, Terrell. Don't know how good he's going to be, but he's 70 true value, drafted at 51. Only normal dev. So may have thrown away another draft pick at addressing the cornerback position. So that's a little disappointing. But let's go see if we can make up for it in round 3 with a maybe free safety or whatever else is on the board. So Drew Allers here, but we don't need to draft a quarterback at this point. Mansour Delane might just double down at corner because it was so bad last year. Zach Rice wouldn't be horrible either. Sony Styles, which I don't hate the idea of, could fit in a number of different ways in our defense. So let's look at Delane here before we make a decision. So speed is great, but let's also look at Sony Styles to see if we like him as well. So Sony Styles, run stopper, A tackle, A pursuit, B tackle. Speed is elite. I think we go Sony Styles here. So that will be our draft. 58 true value, draft in 83. So welcome to the Saints. Very happy to have you. And now we can go take a look at the lineup going into year number 2. So here's what things are looking like going into year number 2. We also have a rookie wide receiver that was drafted, Evan Stewart. I believe he is out of Oregon, unless this is a different Evan Stewart. No, it's the Evan Stewart out of Oregon. So that's actually nice because he's a 76 overall out of the gate. So we'd like to get him involved immediately if we could. But Shedeur, Kamara, Ollie Gordon, Olave, Dubs. So I'm kind of regretting even signing Dubs at this point. Looks like we might have cut Brandon Cooks or something because he's no longer here. Alvin Kamara, Ollie Gordon. So do we want to start Ollie Gordon this year? I think I will. So we're going to throw Ollie Gordon at the running back 1 spot. We have Juwan Johnson. So O-line still looks pretty good. Defensively, obviously, we added Anthony Hill behind DeMar Davis and added Sony Styles as well. Don McCollum, Terrell, who's a 74 overall, so it could be worse. But yeah, this is what it's looking like. So we'll see how it goes. Our defense, in theory, should be better. I'm not expecting it to be elite just yet, but it should be a better defense, and we'll see. Our offense was decent enough last year. Take a look to see. So we can be 83% there, so we'll move this to 83%. We'll do that. Let's go take a look at the slot wide receiver spot because I'm curious to see who's starting there. So I'm actually going to go ahead and throw Evan Stewart there just to see what he can do this year there. So we'll see how that goes. But all right, let's simulate year number 2. We made the playoffs last year at 7-10. Can we make the playoffs again, but this time more convincingly? We shall see. So funny enough, we actually finished up at 7-10 again, but this time, obviously, that did not give us or get us in the playoffs. DeMar Davis does, in fact, retire, which I kind of figured that was coming. So at least we're set there with Anthony Hill coming in and stepping there to start. So we have $101 million in cap space for re-signing stage, but clearly we're still not good enough. Let's make sure we are good enough going into next year. So we got a 5th-year option on Fuaga, which we'll accept. Brian Cook, who was just kind of a stopgap guy this year. So thankfully, there's not a whole lot of guys to address here. The only one that obviously I want to bring back is Olave. So, and we need to look at the player stats here in just a second too. I almost forgot to just do that in general. So, that's not going to matter. Olave, you're being franchise tagged. So 38 million, a lot of our money gone there, but whatever, what can you do? So let's take a look at the stats though, before we go further, because we want to see how things went. So offensively, we're 14th in the NFL. So our offense continues to climb up the board, which is great. And then defensively, 30th. So our defense still sucked. 33-8 from Shedeur. Ollie Gordon with 12 and 600 yards. Rashid Shaheed was good. Olave was good. And Evan Stewart was good in his rookie season as well. Sacks-wise, you had 6 from Ryan Bresee, 5.5 from Carl Granderson, 5 from Chase Young, 2.5 from Rodriguez, 1.5 from Devon, and the interceptions, you had 4 from Pete Warner, 4 from Reed, 3 from McCollum, 2 from Cook, 1 from Kinstreet, and 1 from Terrell. Let's go ahead, get into free agency, and let's get ourselves an elite corner. If Marlon Humphrey is here, or Jair, or whatever it may be, is out here, that is what we're jumping on this offseason regardless. But let's take a look at everything else. Obviously, our offense should be golden. It's been good. Now, we could use some running back depth, so that might be something to look into. Juwan Johnson's still solid enough at tight end that I'm not really worried about it. Obviously, our wide receiver core is great. Ollie Gordon's a fine starter. Defensively, we needed a free safety now. We need a D tackle, and we need a corner. I guess Kool-Aid McKinstry up to an 85 is great. So, but I still would like to add like an elite corner. Sony Styles, Anthony Hill, Pete Warner's a nice linebacker room, and then obviously Malcolm Rodriguez as well in the depth charts too. So we need a D tackle, we need a corner, we need a free safety, and that's probably it. So, and then a running back for depth. So let's go take a look if we can attack all of that. All right, so here's what we're after. We're after Jair Alexander, and I kind of name dropped him, so it's funny that he actually was here. So Jair Alexander, 30 years old, and we're after Kyle Hamilton as well, who would be, playing free safety for us if we bring him in, or we can move Reed there or whatever. But don't know if we'll get him. It would be great if we did. So Jair, Tank Bigsby, Kyle Hamilton, and Jair Alexander. I'm hoping to get at least 2 of the 3. Hopefully Jair and Kyle Hamilton sign with me, and they do. Let's go. So that fixes our corner and our safety problem very fast. So now D tackle is the only thing I feel like we need to really worry about jumping into the draft, which we can draft one, no problem. So love that. We just need to move one of the safeties to free safety. So I guess it'll be, either one's probably gonna be fine. So I'm gonna move Kyle Hamilton over to the free safety. So he'll play free safety. Obviously, this is gonna be a nice safety duo to have. add Jair next to Cooley McKinstry and Terrell, and then also Porter, and then we also have Zion McCollum. So the secondary just got a hell of a lot better with Jair and Kyle Hamilton added to the team. So our defense has no excuses next year. It should be a good defense. Tank Bigsby has depth, so we have Jair, Kyle Hamilton, Justin Reed. It looks fantastic. Just need to address that D tackle problem, and we'll be golden going into next season. So do we draft a D tackle or do we just trade for an elite one? That's the question. I don't know. Kind of tempted to potentially look at trading for an elite one. I'm sitting 11th overall pick for TJ Sanders, D tackle from the Texans, and you'll see why in just a second. But yes, we're being aggressive here, and we're great. We're getting ourselves a starter on the defense that's going to be great right away. We don't have to worry about a rookie being a good one. So we got an 88 overall D tackle who is going to be awesome immediately next to Brian Brissy. So just like this defense should be so much better going into next season. So let's go take a look at the lineup in year number 3. I'm gonna let the assistant GM draft this last season. I just want to see what this team's gonna look like going to year 3 because I'm super ecstatic about what this defense can do going into this 3rd season. Our offense has been good, defense has been the issue. It should be better now. We actually get to open up the NFL season against the Eagles, which is kind of weird, to be honest with you. But I guess maybe the NFL is very interested in what our team looks like going into next season. So Shedeur Sanders, Ollie Gordon, Tank Bigsby. We got another running back in the wings, but here is your offense. And then we also have Ford as depth on the offensive line. Looks great. And then defensively, obviously, this is where we improved the most. We also added another corner here, so that doesn't hurt to have, obviously, either. I do wonder if we should change the defensive playbook, or do we think this is going to be good enough? I guess I'm going to leave the playbook and hope our defense just improves off of it. Offensively, we've been fine, like I said, so I'm going to assume Shedeur Sanders will continue to play great under Kellen Moore's offense. So let's go ahead, simulate to the end of year number 3, and let's see if we finally make the playoffs convincingly. 7-10 both times, so let's see if this time we get anything different. So at the end of year number 3, we finally make the playoffs, this time with a positive record at 12-5. So let's go take a look to see how both sides of the ball ranked. As Jair had 7 interceptions as a free agency addition, which is great. So here were your stats. So your offense was 6th in the NFL, which is what we wanted to see. And then defensively, we were 10th in the NFL. So just like that, defense makes a bigger impact this year. So this is what we wanted, obviously, and it finally has happened. So Romeo Doubs, Olave, Stewart were all great. So it looks like Shaheed got kind of the backseat there to the other wide receivers. Sacks-wise, you had 8.5 from Chase Young, finally having a decent little season. 8.5 from Sanders, who we just brought in. 7 from Granderson. 6.5 from Brissy. Half a sack from Anthony Hill. And then here's your interception. 7 from Jair, which we saw. So let's go ahead, jump in, and play the Washington Commanders in round 1, which is my favorite team in real life. But right now, I'm rooting heavy against them. So let's go see if we can go on a deep playoff run here. Also, just kind of realized that Marshawn Lattimore is playing his former team here in the postseason, so the stakes could not be higher. He's back in New Orleans. So let's see if we can get off to a fast start with the ball. We'll go up 7-0. Defense gets a stop. And then obviously Jaden Daniels returning to New Orleans from LSU out of college. But 7-7. So a lot of storylines here, but we have a lot of LSU guys too. Or we have, I guess, Justin Reed. We don't have Tyrann Mathieu anymore. So it's 7-7 at this point. We will score 14-7 again, and the Commanders will get stopped on a 4th down from Granderson, but they get the ball back, unfortunately. So it's 14-14, but we will kick a field goal, and that's going to be all she wrote. So we're going to win Wild Card Weekend against the Commanders 17-14, and we're moving on to Divisional Weekend. So Shedeur didn't play too great his first playoff game, or I guess this isn't his first playoff game, but not a great performance. But as long as we can get something different in the next round, we should be fine. And now we get to square off against Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. So this one will be interesting. The Cardinals aren't a team I see that often in the playoffs in these Madden Sims, but let's see how it goes. So they will get stopped in their first possession. And we will, it looked like we're about to go on a drive there, but we get good field position and we'll go up 7-0. Defensively, they allow a field goal, but we'll go up 14-3. So the Cardinals need to start scoring touchdowns because it looks like we're not going to stop scoring them. And that was a pretty easy victory. So no sweat there. We beat the Cardinals, and we're on to the NFC Championship with ease. So let's go see who's who will be facing us there. I assume it might be the team we saw the first week of the season this year. Much better game for Shedeur, 95% completion percentage. Let's go see what we can do in the NFC Championship. Just like I assumed, it is in fact the Philadelphia Eagles here. So Saints Eagles here in the NFC Championship. We played them week 1. I don't even know if we won that game or not, to be honest. We're down 3-0 and we're up 7-3. So can we continue to go up for it? Oh, and okay. So we still have a lead here with 40 seconds left in the second quarter. Can we score on this possession? No, it is now 7-6 and we will go up 10-6. Okay. Defense gets another stop. 17-6 would look great. But instead, nope, it's 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So all we got to do is at least score here or not let them see the ball again. So let's come out here and see if we can make something happen. So let's just start off with a run play. And let's also, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Let's, I guess I can't do it yet, but I'm going to do it here in just a second. I'm going to put on Chew Clock here in just a little bit too. So we'll just start off with a run to Ollie Gordon, gain 5 yards. He's ran pretty well today as well. So they've allowed 103 rushing yards today. So we got to keep that in mind that Ollie Gordon has kind of done a decent job against them. So let's put on Chew Clock because we want this clock to go bye-bye, obviously. So they're going to bring something off the right side. So I'm going to go ISO and run it to, or sorry, the left side. I'm going to run it to the right side. And I'm able to avoid that pressure over there and will be a 3rd and 1 after the 2-minute warning. So should put us in a good position to soak this game away. 10-6 win is a win nonetheless. Obviously not a, crazy win, but it's a win in the playoffs, which you'll absolutely take. So let's see. And I just realized also, Kellen Moore is, facing the team he won the Super Bowl with, funny enough, here in the NFC Championship. The 1 yard Ollie Gordon's all I'm asking for, and it is there and more. So we're going to get the first down, and the Eagles will have to burn that first timeout. 86 yards from Ollie Gordon. He's making it happen right now for us. Let's go stretch it to the left and see if we can't get the edge here and soak this game away even further. So I'm going to cut this inside. Not going to gain much, but I'll gain 3 at least. Okay, one more first down in this game is basically over. So we're going to inside zone here. Simple run play, and we'll see if we can't get a nice run play, nice blocking, and we'll gain another yard. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. It's 3rd and 6 right now. I am going to throw this ball. We're going to throw this ball. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to try to end the game right here. So let's see if they allow anybody to run free. I'm hoping they do, obviously. I think we have Dubs for a first down, and we will, and he will get down, and that is going to be the game. Shedeur didn't even have to throw the ball that much today. Eagles have no chance to stop the clock anymore. That is how you do it, and now we are headed back to the Super Bowl, which is awesome. So let's go see what we can do there. So here we are in the Super Bowl playing the most obvious team it could be from the AFC. Of course, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. So Justin Reed gets to play his former team in the biggest game here as they go up 3-0. We will respond with a touchdown, 7-3. All right, so we have the lead right now, but it looks like they may have gotten an interception or something at 7-10. All right, so we got a score here in this possession. Nope. 51 seconds left in the second quarter. Let's go see if we can make something happen here and take the lead before half because we've gotten this far. Let's not throw this opportunity away. Let's try to win this bad boy and get ourselves a championship again. That's Shedeur's first one, obviously, in the NFL. So here we go. Oh, my... Okay, well, that didn't go well. Okay, so it's going to be 2nd and 30 now. You know what? At least it's the end of the half, but I was about to throw that wheel route. I don't know if it would have been open, but I think it was about to be. All right, well, we're going to throw one last dime, hopefully. I'm going to go... Okay, so this is going to be sailed over everyone's head. Wait, did he catch that? Oh, but there's a flag. I cannot believe he even caught that. All right, well, this was a waste of time. I don't even know how we jumped in. It's now 2nd and 35. We were about to be in field goal range, though, after Juwan Johnson just made that crazy catch. So 2nd and 35 from our own. I mean, this is probably not a great idea. A sack could happen, and then, weird things can happen. But I don't know. Maybe they allow somebody to just get open. I'm going to try to stay. Okay. Yep, that's why we don't do that. All right. It's going to be probably 7-13. So that's what I get. But we'll make up for it. And it's going to be 21-14 now. We go score again. Nope. All right. So we got the ball back. We go score. We do 21-21. So it's okay. Even though I threw a really stupid interception. It's 28-28 with 2 seconds left. Oh my goodness. Can we make something happen here with 2 seconds? I doubt it. But of course you guys know we're going to try. So Shaheed, the fast guy, is going to go on this go route. For whatever reason, on this Hail Mary play, sometimes RB just gets open. I don't think they're going to allow that today. I'm going to throw it, and thankfully it just goes to the ground because I don't think that was going to be open anyway. So we're going to overtime. So despite me throwing an interception and giving them a 3-point or a bigger lead going into half, Thankfully, the simulation made up for it. So let's see who gets the ball first. Hopefully the Chiefs do, because I want to see what they do. Tails never fails. We have won the toss. Obviously, we will kick it. So the Saints don't like to kick, and the Chiefs will do whatever they want. So, all right. I don't even know why there's wind. We're in a freaking dome. Why is there wind? Okay, so let's go see what we can do on defense. See if we can get a stop. And the Chiefs will score a field goal. Okay, so that's doable. We just need to score a touchdown, and we win the game. So let's be a lot smoother, obviously, with what we're doing on offense. I'm going to throw Olave on a go here, though. Do they allow him to get skate? Nope. I'm just going to go Juwan Johnson underneath. Get some yards here. We don't have to be in a huge rush. I don't think we have to score before the 2-minute warning or before the 2 minutes is up, but I always confuse myself if you have to or not. So let's just in case try to score before that's over, I guess. I think they're going to leave Juwan Johnson. Oh my gosh, come on, 3rd and 4. That was going to be a nice completion if we would have made it happen, but instead we have a 3rd and 4. Or instead of a first down, we have a 3rd and 4, I should say. All right. We need a first down in the worst way possible, so let's see if we can make it happen. Oh my gosh, they're going to leave him open. Dubs. No. Oh my lord. Juwan Johnson may have been wide open too. I just saw it late. All right, well, we need a first down or this game is over. 4th and 4. We need a first down in the worst way possible, so let's see if we can make it happen. I believe in our team to get open. I think we'll have Evan Stewart for a first down, so let's just take the first down, get down, and I'm going to call my timeout. Like I said, I don't know if I've scored for the 2-minute warning, but I'm doing it just in case. Just to be safe. We don't want to be, safe than being sorry, obviously. All right. Let's see if they allow anything just to escape open here. I'm going to give Evan Stewart a chance. Romeo Dubs for the win. I'm going to have to go aggressive. He catches it. Oh my gosh, McDuffie. That was on McDuffie. McDuffie didn't even make a play on the ball. I thought that was going to Evan Stewart, but instead it's Romeo Dubs. And that is how the game is going to end. Wow. I was kind of insane. I cannot believe McDuffie didn't even make a play on the ball there. I was going to yak it, and then I was like, no, we got to change to aggressive because McDuffie's in a good position. And he just didn't even really make a play. He ran past the ball. We win on a... Wow. What a way to win the game. So, Super Bowl victory going to the Saints. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Always fun to do rebuilds on Madden. See you on the next one. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.